Okay. We're back. Portsman is hella sus, so we're about to cross-examine him now. Looks like we're about to get the tutorial on that. Alright, first I'd listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply touch the present button, but that's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Okay, this sounds pretty much just like what we were doing in the other Ace Attorney games. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and newer modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you committed the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe's the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. His body. Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was holding. Wait.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal! There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth! Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it, with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup. For the game-finishing spike. If he stole the file, he definitely would have seen it, though.
Objection!
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another, closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible! What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone, there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. That reaction face. Which means what exactly? What does that make the Stein message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with a crime scene. Yes, as this series has done many times in the past. The real killer forging the bloody message, or the dying message. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see! I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time! Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however... What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved I'm innocent, pal. Oh. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? Okay, stop with the coat thing. Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there. Yes, sir? What is it, sir? Would you so kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? If someone else does have a key, how does he know? How does he know this? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't! What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. I've called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Oh, Maggie! We've seen her a few times. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie! I wonder, do do those two have a thing or not? It's... They leave it kind of ambiguous, it seems. Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in the building. What?! If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Ms. Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room! That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it! Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, if it was me, yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. It's pretty obvious that Ms. Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Ms. Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Ms. Bird who could have used the master key. It seems the only way to get Mr. Portman to give more details is to press him. Yeah, if there was a master key, the killer could have used it too. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal! But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? I believe so. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it would be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. Ah. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. I see. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points toward a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. From the message to the whiteboard. Only the prosecutors knew about the safes. So how did Maggie know about it?
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Ms. Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. I found the button to save. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. Getting nervous? What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! Why? What made you... What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. Huh? What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Then that means... Yeah, I know. I'd only just told him, too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Ms. Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky position. Profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who'd probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us. Unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who has been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But, sir... We have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. No, don't disappoint me, you hear? What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Yeah, I mean, Maggie can't catch a break either. This is the third game she's been in where she's been wrongly accused. Almost as bad as Maya. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Huh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Yes, sir. Anything yet? I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this? This is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Oh, look at that sprite. Her fangirling out. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with him. It sounds fun, but the only person ever taken a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd fit in all that well with him. Is Maggie Bird correct? I take it you're an acquaintance of the detective. She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. Yep, as we saw that happen in the second game. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You are caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods. Failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. Now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I became a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know, and just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I'll solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Is it? Oh, okay, I guess they played what is a basketball doing here? This was where they played basketball? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, even tennis. Not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Oh, look. Oh, it's Winston. Looks like you're quite the pitch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you got in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door's always open. How gracious. I'll keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Is everything alright? Yes, sir. You must know I weighed myself this morning, and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice. Stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. What's that under the seat? It's... Ah, the missing file. Isn't this that missing Zero Series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these Zero Series files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say that I was charged with keeping them as they were. That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. Interesting indeed. What about... Let's ask her more about this. So, when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 AM. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Oh, it's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say. Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit it was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I'd used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key. That sounds important. What did you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who'd forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. How did you leave out that detail until now? What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 AM. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him. No way! It's against regulations to loan out the master key to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then, what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 AM, I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. I guess, is this his room? In 1203. I take it this is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I'll bet it's because of something like his birthday's December 2nd. No, it's clearly because he wanted the file that was in that room. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? The door's locked tight. I'll bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Ah, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Oh, that sass. Oh wait, this is what I want. Okay. The key was used to unlock and lock his office. The key went missing between 1 a.m. and 2:30. But if Maggie used the key to lock his office at 1:30, that narrows our window even further, doesn't it? Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir, she's even borrowed his mannerisms. You said you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30, correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Ah! So it's not locked and we can go in.
Eureka!
There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Oh, after he stole the key, he came back. He must have realized it wasn't... His office wasn't locked, and he locked it then. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means... What, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office. Oh, right, he wouldn't have had to use the master key if he did actually have the key on him. Or the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... We need to examine these. The doorknob? The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So the victim used the doorknob, used it then. So only 2 people's prints were found in this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Maggie's, right?
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Ms. Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Huh. Weird. What does this mean, then? What have we here? Oh! A note was slid under the door. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. Oh, looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. There's something written on it. Looks like a note from the victim. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. Yeah, that's for Mr. Portsman. There's also this weird indentation by the basketball hoop. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. So somebody moved it. Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. No. Now what about Edgeworth's door? I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. I mean, the door really was open with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wipe, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The master behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. And with that, give me another moment, and we will hopefully finish up this chapter when I come back.